everyone. Welcome back to the BTI Unleashed podcast. I am Hatika, the Regional Marketing Executive at BTI Executive Search. Today, I am joined by someone who is just not a great recruiter, but also a trusted partner to her clients and candidates. She specializes in tech recruitment at BTI Malaysia, and over the years, she's built a reputation for genuine connections, strong relationships, and a knack for matching the right people to the right opportunities. We're going to talk about how these relationships have shaped her career, how she balances the fast-paced demands of consulting in the tech space, and where she sees recruitment heading next, especially AI shifting talent expectations and the evolving world of work. So grab your coffee and let's get into it. Hey Jess, thank you for taking your time to be here and sit with me to discuss about how relationship buildings have shaped your career as both a consultant and a person. Before we start, could you please introduce yourself to our audience? How did you get into recruitment?
Hi Hati, thank you for having me today. Hi everyone, I'm Jascinta and I am actually a technology recruiter at BTI Executive and I've been in the industry for about almost 6 years now. And I would say recruitment actually chose me 6 years ago. I actually started in the field of internal HR and I got approached for my very first sales recruitment role by one of my juniors in college actually. And I started off as an accounting and finance recruiter actually, fun fact. After a while, I was actually approached to join the tech team and didn't know I would actually be someone who loved working with people and sales because I used to be an introvert turned extrovert. But I've loved it ever since, and here I am today.
That's interesting. Was this always a part of your plan, or it just happened unexpectedly?
Honestly, no. Me, someone as an introvert, I would have never thought to be in the field of sales, let alone recruitment. I used to be the person who was always awkward around people, the one who's always in her own zone. So when I first thought about joining recruitment and I was first approached, I thought, hell no, I could not have done it. Like, this is not me. But little did I know, I've loved it since day one and still love it ever since. And I think this would be something I would do for a long time.
That's great. I couldn't even tell that you're an introverted person.
Yeah.
Because you're so great with what you're doing now.
Thank you.
Speaking of tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to explore in the tech industry?
Well, I think the common thing that people assume of technology candidates is that they may be introverts and they do the same thing all the time. And that's what even I thought too. But as I started out in Java, sourcing for Java developers. And there is something interesting about what they do because tech candidates are actually very important in a company's infrastructure. I think oftentimes we think of them as usual people, like our usual, maybe accounting and finance jobs, but they actually do much more than that. And I think with every candidate that I speak to, I always learn something new. And that's why I'm always excited to talk to them, to, it's more than about placing candidates and earning commissions. I mean, obviously the commission is nice, but it's much more than that. And even talking to my clients, I learned something new about a new technology, a new infrastructure. And there's so much to it than we actually know. Even me, myself, I have to keep up with it constantly in order to keep up with the market standards. So I think because it keeps me on my toes, that's why I'm drawn to it. And I always love challenges, and that's why I'm still in it until today.
I see, yeah. It's always a great feeling meeting new people because it changes your perspective. I mean, it expands on how you think and see the world.
Yeah, exactly.
You are known for having great relationships with clients and candidates. How did you develop that strength?
I think relationships is something that everyone should build from the start, the day they enter any sales or recruitment job. So I remember since day one, that was the objective that I wanted to achieve, which is building great relationships with my clients and candidates so that it's just not for the moment, but also because they will always come back to me if they need any help with anything. So I think there's a few things that I did. For example, I was an introvert, right? So I joined a lot of public speaking events to put myself out there. I involved myself in a lot of social interactions. Fun fact, I actually got involved in social dancing to actually put myself out there to become more of an extroverted person. And also, of course, reading up on communication, reading up on being an empathetic speaker. Understanding the essence of being a human being first rather than treating a client and candidate as an asset that you move around just for the sake of earning your commissions. That's always my motto. I never put money as a driver as the main thing why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I would always put myself in the shoes of my candidate and clients whenever they come to me for help. So I think that's why I wouldn't say very good, but reasonably good at building the relationships with my clients and candidates. And it's just really nice to see them grow back. Like from 5 years ago, I do observe some of them, progressing in their career. And I still continue to build relationships with them until today. And I think the most important thing is never stop learning. Always be humble to grow, and always never think, no matter how high you go up the ladder, never ever think you're better than somebody else. That's the easiest way to grow.
Yeah, that's true. I agree on that, because it's like a long-term investment, right?
Yeah.
Building this relationship with not just your candidates but also clients, because if you think you're better than anyone, you won't accept any constructive criticism very well. If you had to describe it, what does a strong candidate or client relationship looks like to you?
I think a strong relationship with a candidate or client means that they trust you. They trust your credibility to deliver results, and they trust that you are going to be the person that they turn to in times of intense pressures when they have to make a life decision. For example, a candidate switching a job is not an easy decision. Sometimes they have to take into account some personal factors as well, and they're also going through a crucial decision-making process. As for the client, they are probably handling 50 to 60 roles at one go, and understanding that makes you a recruiter that stands out in the market. Simple mode of communication, if a client replies really cold, a simple call can change the whole situation, because you never know what a candidate and client is going through at that very moment. So I think the basis of understanding them as a person first plays a huge part, and that is the essence of a strong relationship between a client and a candidate.
So it's the human touch. Really,
it's the human connection. Yeah.
Human connection is really important.
Yeah.
So talking about relationship buildings, right? Do you have any memorable stories?
I have a few. But I probably choose the most recent one, which is, funny enough, happened yesterday. So she was a candidate I've known since 3 to 4 years back in IT. Unfortunately, she didn't stay very long with one of my clients. She decided to do her own freelance role. And yesterday, she actually reached out to me, thanking me for making her a very big impact in her life, not knowing that that's even what I did. And I think it's messages and stories like this, sometimes recommendations on my LinkedIn profile that keeps me going. Because when I do something, I do it genuinely without expecting anything in return. But sometimes when you're going through a tough day, doubting whether you're doing good enough, Messages like this make it have an impact, and in fact she's transitioned to a sales role. And she remembers the day that I reached out to her, and in fact she said, thank you for being one of the most genuine recruiters who are actually a very rare quality, that you're the only one who genuinely does recruitment that I know of. So to hear a message like that, it's really touching. Because even though I know I'm doing it sometimes I'm doing it on an auto mode, so I don't really pay attention to the small things, but it's messages like this that lets me know that I make an impact to them.
Yeah, sometimes you don't see what impact you give to someone until that person comes to you and tell you all these things, right?
Yeah, true.
I think most people don't know they're making mistake in building relationship. Can you tell us what are the common mistake people often overlook?
I think recruitment is, in the basis of it, a very intense role. Most of us in every company have KPIs that we need to chase, and most recruiters focus on this a lot. So I think a few mistakes I can list would be the first one to clients, for example, blindly sending CVs to clients without actually understanding the requirements just to hit the KPIs. I think that's a big red flag. It actually spoils the industry, and in fact some recruiters actually send CVs without getting the candidate's permission, and that's actually against their privacy consent. I think yes, chasing your KPIs is important, but not to leave out the ethical and integrity part of it. It's very important. The second thing would be ghosting. Recruiters talk about candidates and clients ghosting us, but some of us actually do it. And it's not a nice thing, because just imagine you're the one who's looking for a job and you get ghosted on, without any feedback or anything. It's really not a nice thing. I think that recruiters, as much as doing their daily jobs, should practice the basic things of updating candidates. If there's no updates, at least let them know when's the duration to expect an update. And if you've left a client on hold for 2 weeks, I mean, that's not a nice thing either. Clients have bosses to report to, and at least giving them an update every 3 to 4 days lets them know that even though there might be no candidates, you just give them an update on what's going on, because you never know that requirements can be adjusted, and working together involves a lot more rather than just finding 100% perfect fit. And I think also virtual and face-to-face interactions play a part. Most times, recruiters keep conversations on WhatsApp, and that's just not going to work, because you need time and FaceTime to build relationships, and people need to get comfortable with you. If they don't know who's the person behind the screen, what is the difference between an AI doing the work and you doing the work? They might as well use an AI to do all of it, right?
True. Yes.
And I think the most important thing also is, with AI coming into the picture, it's sad to say that the recruiters who hide behind their phone screens will actually lose out, because human connection is going to play an importance more than ever.
I agree. How do you stay authentic without overstepping boundaries?
I think in the line of sales, boundaries has a very thin line. More of it, I guess, I think actually no, with clients and candidates alike, I've gotten weird messages which I have to resteer the direction of the conversation to a professional level, but it is something we should expect in sales. At the same time, not give in to it. There is a nice way to tell someone that we keep it at a professional level. It's bound to happen, I guess, with girls and guys alike. There is a successful way of doing things without overstepping boundaries. And as long as you keep within that space, people will actually respect you even more because you have a stand.
I see. Yeah. Could you tell us what's the difference between working in the tech space and other industries?
I think Working in the tech space, first of all, you have to be someone who's constantly adapting, constantly being resilient, and constantly loving what you do. If you're lacking in either of these three things, you would not survive. But I also think it's important in every job as well. It's just that in tech, probably the intensity and the demand which is required by you is much more compared with other industries, especially if you're taking care of a whole department or a whole region. You're responsible for the infrastructure, for the security, and for the development of technologies in the company. So there is a certain level of demand and skill sets that's required from you. And the thing about tech is it's ever changing. So the ones that don't adapt with the changes will fall behind. As compared to other industries, I think there's still room to sort of fall back every now and then. But with tech, no, it's not true.
Yeah.
It's always changing. If you don't adapt, one day AI is going to take over your job.
You need to evolve and come up with something new every day.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. How do you stay updated in this fast evolving space?
Well, a few things. Firstly is I always make it a point to get to know as much as possible from my clients and candidates. A lot of the connections that I make in the industry probably won't have a job for me, or I won't be able to use them as a candidate ever, or not instantly. But I use these connections and I attend events as well to get to know different perspectives of the IT industry and of the industry in general. And also, I read a lot of news daily to keep myself updated. LinkedIn is my favorite place to go every morning and every evening to keep myself updated as well. But still, I think it's still not enough. I try my best to do what I can every day to keep myself updated. Yeah.
I really love your LinkedIn posts.
Thank you.
The recruitment itself is being shaped by technology, especially AI and automation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to hear your take on where these things are heading.
Okay, well, I think we can't really predict the advancements of AI and automation in the industry. We don't really know how advanced it is going to be and how many jobs it will take over. I think one day it will take over 50% of the jobs in the industry. But the balance of the 50% of the jobs will still be there, because I think those jobs, for example, sales, recruitment, even human resource still needs that element of human connection, human touch. I think the people that will remain in the working sector will be the ones that know how to operate AI, the ones who allow these tools to help them in their daily jobs, and the ones that are open to have AI as part of their efficiency. They will still remain in the industry.
So they cannot be replaced. As long
I
as
don't
they are...
think it will be entirely replaced, but they have to have the knowledge of adapting to artificial intelligence and the technologies.
Yeah. How do you see AI changing how clients hire and candidates look for jobs?
I think that clients are already hiring agencies for the roles that cannot be easily found. We are already observing that change in the industry. The roles that they are hired for are much more niche than it used to be. It's probably a few different skill sets combined at once. Most of it can be found using LinkedIn Recruiter already, so they are hiring more internal TAs to utilize that resource, and only very selected roles to give out to agencies. As for candidates, I think maybe the ones that are tired of working with recruiters who don't give them the respect would go to AI. But at the end of the day, the filtration, I don't think AI can get it 100% right. Maybe it can shortlist a good amount of candidates for you, but the identifying which candidates best fit according to the culture, that's still something the recruiter needs to do. And especially if you're talking about C-level hiring, AI can't do that amount of filtration for you, because that requires really understanding the candidate, their motivations, their culture fit, what they are looking for, and the best fit with the company to bring the company forward, right? So it will maybe change a little bit how things are done. The recruitment landscape will change, but it will probably be skewed towards more senior level hiring, more niche roles, the roles which require a recruiter in presence to be the middle person between the client and candidate.
Yeah. What skills will be in demand in the next 5 years?
I think a lot of skills that will be in demand will probably be involving cloud, security, and even Microsoft, like your D365 roles, DevOps, even software. Software will still be in demand. A lot of emerging technology, like your AI developers, robotic process automations, roles involving data as well will be the ones in demand. And also something new which will be in demand in the future, which would probably be developers who can develop large language models, for example, similar to those in the likes of ChatGPT. So developers who have a little bit of that extra touch, who have the passion of developing models in their own space or are already doing it now. So I think that's going to be the roles that are going to be in demand in the future.
I see. Do you see any client expectations shifting in the near future?
It is already begun shifting. They are very specific and also very careful in hiring recruitment agencies, which they should be, because a lot of clients are actually trying to be very careful of their resources, especially with budgeting and planning and all that. And I think they are more of looking as of a person who not only has the technical skills but soft skills, and even technical skills, somebody who can do more than one thing. For example, instead of the usual Java developer, somebody who is in transition to be a manager. So hiring is more in the long term. It's no more, can you stay for 1 year, but can I grow you to be a manager in 3 to 4 years' time? And also the loyalty part, I found that to be very important in interviews nowadays. People are no longer rushing to hiring. Even though the role is urgent, they make sure that it's a right hire before taking someone on. And I think they're very careful in investing in someone because of resources as well. So industry is changing. And I think the recruiters that don't make the effort to get to know all this and understand their clients, they will slowly, unfortunately, phase out. So I think more changes will happen at the end of this year. It has already drastically changed, I think, since last year. So we need to continuously evolve.
I see. Looking ahead is important, but so is reflecting how far you've come. So do you have any advice to the people who are interested, who want to start in recruitment?
I think if I had any advice, or maybe if I look back and I had an advice for my younger self, I would probably say if you want to start in sales, you gotta be genuine in it and give it your full heart and not just chase the money. And if you do that, you would go very far. And I think having a strong mindset is important. Tuning out the outside noise, just being very laser focused, keeping a balance, also not overworking yourself, take it day by day, have a target, have a plan, but not overwhelm yourself with it. Laser focused in a way, tune out to all the negativity and just be focused on what you need to achieve, what you can achieve. And soon enough, you'll be there even before you know it. I mean, if you ask me, could I see myself here at BTI 5 years ago, still in recruitment, knowing like a bunch of clients and candidates, I would tell you, no, I wouldn't. But, here I am day after day, as hard as it looked, it just gets easier by the day. Of course, the industry gets tougher, but you adapt, you change, you do things to recalibrate yourself. You know, if you need to take breaks, take a break. You know, have a balance of social activities, healthy activities to recalibrate your mind. Like for me, I do a lot of gym and Pilates, and recently dancing. That I took up those activities to keep myself focused and also sane, of course, and continue to perform well in my daily job. So it's about being holistic at the end of the day, and never ever doubt yourself. Always picture yourself as if you're already at a position you want to be. I think having that mindset is very important.
Yeah, true. I always tell the people around me, just show up, because you never know what opportunities you will get in the future.
Yeah, I think showing up is the most important. I've had 2 major situations happen to me in this 5 years of recruitment, but I told myself it's fine. Personal is personal. You know, at the end of the day, just keep showing up, and you will reap the rewards of it.
Yeah. And also you need to know how to separate your work and your personal life.
That's very important. I think keeping your emotions in check, having emotional stability, being able to compartmentalize. Once you open your laptop and reach the office, you switch off from your personal stuff. And you focus on work. After work, you can think about anything you want. Because clients and candidates would sense this, and you need to be 100% for them. So,
you need to be professional.
Yes, exactly.
That is such a valuable perspective. I really love and enjoy our session today.
Thank you, Hati, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to your achievements in the near future.
Me too, and I look forward to yours too and your new podcast.